My father and my husband. My husband is not my father. You know what? Hi. Hello. How are you? I am doing well. Thank you for joining me here. I am Amanda of the MandaMadeIt podcast, also the owner of Coastal Wool Washing. And I am coming to you from Westerly, Rhode Island, where I live with my husband and my two children. This is my little corner to discuss my knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, scouring, crafty stuff, and all things crafty adjacent and experiences that have to do with crafting. Um, and I'll get more into that later. So yeah, I have not much. Not that I don't have much to show. I have plenty to show. I just it's been like 3 weeks I think since my last episode. Yeah, and things have kind of just like been at a weird place. Anyway, I'll just get into it. So the only finished object I have is actually this little headband I made. I'm part of the Jillian Eve Patreon and Discord server, and we were doing a plant fiber spin to make a long thing. And I had some cotton that I blended with merino. I do not like the way that plant fibers feel in my fingers, my hand. I don't like it. Give me the heebie-jeebies. So I blended it with some merino on my drum carder, and I enjoyed spinning it much more so with having that merino in there. And I did like, I think maybe 2 ounces total, and just came up with this really pretty little, blend. And then I just kind of cast on. I didn't follow a pattern. I picked out an eyelet. I just decided I wanted an eyelet style kind of headband, and I decided to kind of mimic the Sophie scarf shape, and I kind of just winged it. And so eyelets are not like evenly placed everywhere. Just kind of like, whatever, I'm just gonna stick them where they go. And I don't think I increased or decreased evenly on either side. I don't care, because it's like for this. It's for this purpose only. But anyway, I'm happy with it. I don't know if I'm really going to ever get into spinning plant fibers quite like I am into wool, but it's still fun to branch out a little bit. So that's my only finished object. I do have several whips, of which you have seen. And so, yeah, I'm just going to get into it. So one of them is so nearly done, and I'm really aggravated because it's beyond my control that it's not done. And that is my Granny Stripes Afghan by Lucy of Attic 24. So where is it? Okay. Well, we'll see if that works. My iPad just fell, so sorry if the scene is a little different now. Where were they? The Granny Stripe Afghan from Lucy at Attic 24. So let me just I'll show you best I can. So like, mini skein set, Hugh Loco. I was alternating with Cascade 220 in the white cracked white pepper colorway. And I did one round of the border with what I had, and it got me here. So just that much. So I ordered 2 more balls because I decided I wanted to do a bigger border. And I don't know when they're going to get here. I couldn't find the colorway. I could only find that specific colorway in a couple different places. And I ordered it from one of them. And then I got an email that it was going to take a while. So this is on hold. It's very close to done. Very, very close to done. I did complete my goal of finishing the mini skein stripes in the month of March. All of those were done. And I would have most likely been done by April 1st with the entire blanket had had I planned better. But I mean, whatever. Not a big deal. It is still short. It's almost mid-April. So it's not like something like this is super necessary at this point. So that is that. I mean, I love the blanket. I would like to use it, but I'm also not like super mad. I have other blankets that I can use. So I can't wait to be able to show it when it's done. So hopefully the next time I get to recording, that will happen. The other whip I have is very close to done as well. I think I've only got 6 more rows to go before the bind off. And that is the Wisdom of the Moon shawl. And I mean, it's on my needles and they're not quite big enough to stretch it out, but I am very pleased with how the colors are working on this. Considering this is just stash stuff, you know, it is nice to be able to make something work and to use up stash. But the flat color work, folks, that is not my jam. And like the Latvian braid type stuff, it's very pretty, but I just, because I was using fingering weight, held double, I had 4 balls, and trying to do that kind of twined knitting stuff was a little bit more hectic than it probably needed to be. So I learned a lot with this shawl. Will I make it again? Only if I decide to steek it will I do that again. I now understand why people are like, oh, it's flat color work. How do I make it so I can steek it? I fully understand and support that. Anyway, I will have my project pages linked below in the description box, and I'll be putting, you know, pattern names and designers on the bottom of the screen here. So if you're interested in that information, it will be available to you. Those are my whips, which are pretty much the same as they were last time, because I have stopped attempting to do all the things for right now. Like, I might want to cast all the things on, and I have gone through a couple of bouts of that, but I have been staying my hand at it. We're just casting on small things. Like, I have a very small, another headband, actually, cabled headband, started in some Jagger spun that I got at the last fiber festival I went to. And that's because I panicked, because I realized I'm going to a fiber festival the end of this month, and I wanted to at least have all the yarn, which wasn't much, that I bought at that last fiber festival used, or at least in a work in progress, before I went to the next fiber festival. You know, we all have our own little quirky rules about things and how we want to do them, and it's okay. There's no freaking way I'm gonna get through all the fiber that I bought last time, so I'm just gonna make it about the yarn. You know, let's see how that goes. Speaking of fiber, I do have a few, actually I have finished, no I don't know, spinning is weird as to having like finished objects, but I have some spins, and then I have a spin in progress. So I guess I'll start with this was just a fun little exercise I did on my drum carder. A friend posted a picture of like a flame in their fireplace. They had like a gas fireplace. I don't know, something like that. And somebody said that they wished that was a bat. There was a bat or a way to spin the colors that were in the picture. I'll put the picture up here. And I just was like, I want to see if I can do it. And so I can't say that I feel like I captured it in terms of like the spin working for it, but in the bat, it was really pretty. So yeah, that was my, it was like one morning I woke up, it was 5 a.m, saw all that, and I was like, I'm gonna make a bat, and then I'm gonna spin it. And so I did. It's just a 2-ply. I don't even know how many ounces it was, but you know, I mean, it was like, there's so many blues and oranges and burgundies and things. So anyway, you'll see in the picture. But it was a fun little exercise to do. I can't say that I had any real... It was just something I wanted to do. And that's okay. Like, not every aspect of your making has to be like super intentional, other than maybe to learn something. And I learned with this. So that was good. Something else that I did actually a couple days ago is we had Easter here it was on Sunday, and on Saturday we dyed eggs with the girls, and we had leftover dye, and you can dye yarn and fiber with leftover Easter egg dye. Jillian Eve put a video up about it. Chemnitz has videos about it. You know, it's something that people do. So we had plenty of leftover dye, and my older daughter picked out fiber and a skein of undyed yarn that I had spun, and she wanted to dye them. So we did one in all of the, you know, warmer colors, you know, the pink, orange, red. Yellow was in here, but that definitely like blended in with stuff. But it came out really pretty. And this was a Cormo Romney lamb fleece that I had gotten in the fall. It was actually my very first processed fleece. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to do with them, like letting her kind of just, you know, pick the colors, pour them where she wanted on that yarn. And then also we did some Ramberlay undyed top that I had with all the cooler purples, blues, greens. And I think it's very pretty. You know, somebody said it looks like a mermaid tail, and I don't know. So I don't know how to chain or braid these things. So I just kind of, it doesn't look quite right to me, but I did something. So that's why it looks like this, because I don't know what I'm doing with that. But I think this will be really fun to spin. And then I also, because like when you dye things with Easter tablets, like all of a sudden you realize how fun and easy it is, because all you need is vinegar and heat, and like you don't have to measure things, you don't have to make dye stocks, like you just do it. So I went and got 5 more of these on sale today, you know, because they're like more than 50% off. Just to play with, because I have more undyed fiber that I don't have plans for. I also have that yolk stained Tunis fleece that I had processed, or scoured anyway, a couple months ago. So it's got a yellowish cast to it, which is fine. It actually looks pretty in a creamy, buttery sort of way. But I have a lot of it, so I was like, I'll just play with colors, see what happens, enjoy that. So that'll be fun, I think, to see how that spins up. You know, it was just like the leftover dye stock, or dye cups of dye with the vinegar in them. And then I put them in a baking dish. We poured it on, there was water in there, it was like low immersion. Covered them with foil, stuck them in the oven for an hour at somewhere between 250 and 275, and let it cool down, and everything exhausted, and it was fun. I rinsed it and let it dry. So if you want to attempt dyeing things, but all of the math seems hard, and the what to do, and I don't want to screw it up. Like, go to the store now, get some severely discounted Easter egg dye kits, and go watch Jillian Eves dyeing with Easter egg dye video that she put out this past weekend, and give it a go. uh, the last well, I have two more things to show. So I can't remember if I showed this on my last video. I have a Shetland fleece that I received this past fall from somebody who does not raise Shetlands they're like pets, I think. And she just gave me the fleeces, and they were super covered in VM, but they were like wood chips and wood shavings, not like climbing through brambles VM. So it was very easy to pick out by hand, which I've been doing. And when I did scour this fleece back in the fall, it was a quick job because I just wanted to get it washed so I could feel more comfortable storing it. And I realize now that I really did just a very light scour. And so there's a lot of lanolin left in the fleece, which actually isn't bothering me at all. It's making for kind of a pleasant experience, really. And so I've been spinning long draw, and just like on my Ashford Traditional, and you can see there's still like little bits of like VM and chaff and stuff in there. But this has been so freaking fun to spin. Like, I don't even know if I can explain like why or how it's bringing me this much joy, but it is. And I sit upstairs, I pick the wool, I pick a batch of wool, like a couple ounces at a time. I pick it through it over a cardboard box, just drop the VM and stuff into the box, and then I card up 2-ounce bats, and then I just sit and spin, and it is, I don't know why, but just this particular spin has been so joyful and relaxing at the same time. And I really don't want it to be over anytime soon. I have still like this, which you can see like all of the wood chips and things in there. Sorry for the crinkly bag and the glare, but you know, and it's like, this wasn't sheared for hand spinners. There are shortcuts. There are, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, this wasn't even, I mean, it was it was skirted in terms of like there's no real like poop in there, but I don't know, something about this is just, I'm connecting with it. You know, sometimes you find a connection with something that really doesn't make sense to you or anybody else, and this is one of those situations. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I have become really good friends with my Ashford Traditional at this point now. I did kind of, you know, I had cleaned her up, taken her all apart, waxed her and everything, and I just I kind of needed to, I don't know, I just kind of needed to make friends with her, I guess. And so I'm looking at her right now. So we're having a good time together now, and it's enjoyable. So in terms of spinning and stuff, that is what I have to show. However, there is, I'm gonna call it PIPS, processing in progress, and PFOs, processed finished objects. I have a small business called Coastal Wool Washing, and my aim is to wash wool for small flock shepherds, you know, people who just have sheep as pets, or even for hand spinners who want to buy a whole fleece but can't or don't want to process it in terms of scouring it themselves. And I was lucky enough to get connected with Peterson Shepherds and in Falmouth, Mass. through the southeastern New England fiber shed. And I got 43 pounds of their Cheviot to wash for them. That's all they want me to do. And I have finished that. I have to bring this up to them at some point this week. But I have, I don't know if I can, I have four and a half of these hanging out in my house, waiting for me to bring them up. And one of the side effects of this is that I have also been so very fortunate to be given a small space in my family's business that is not fiber related. They're my father and husband have a business. My father and my husband. My husband is not my father. You know what? Family business has a space in their office building that they are very kindly allowing me to use for storage and for scouring orders and projects and stuff. So, because I mean, 43 pounds of wool hanging out in my house was like, we had to play Jenga. You know, I don't have a super large house. And so it was a good thing to have this happen so that I could see that, you know, I had to come up with some sort of other situation. And this is a really, really good plan of seeing what will work and what won't, and giving it a shot. Acquisitions, let's see. I'll put up a couple pictures. The stuff I got isn't really like that fun, sexy, exciting stuff that knitters and spinners really enjoy seeing a lot. Like, I got a drying rack and some linen laundry bags for storage. And I got a spin dryer, a Ninja spin dryer, which makes everything so much better. But in terms of like buying pretty stuff, no, I'm just making it. So yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's all I have to really show. You know, I thought I would, and if you're here for just the fiber stuff and don't care about life things, that is so okay. I don't blame you. You don't know me, fine. So I'll see you next time. Okay. But if you are one of those people that likes to hear about other people's lives for some reason, I thought I'd share a little bit about a few things, that have come up recently. Because I think it is, maybe a little bit important to share within the community, the crafting community, about maybe some challenges that we struggle with. And, you know, I have always been open about having postpartum depression and things like that. My kid is like over 2 years old, so I'm on medication and stuff, so that's fine. But I was having like over the past several months, having a strong fatigue issue, some joint pain, things like that. I can't say that I eat that great at this point. And sleep was iffy here and there, but I dialed in my sleep. I you know, kind of dialed in my eating a little bit, but I did go to the doctors, and it looks like I have like pre-Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease. And it looks like I don't have any damage to my thyroid as of yet, but I am trending towards that. So what does that mean, really? I mean, it just means I gotta eat better, more thoughtfully, and move more, you know. This is a sedentary-ish craft. Like, yes, I can knit and spin while I walk, but I also have kids, and we gotta play, and you know, when you're fatigued already, it can be hard to get the energy up to do the things, even if they make you feel better. So, I've just been kind of trying to figure this whole thing out without fully having like some sort of diagnosis, I guess. It's just kind of like doing what I can to basically doing the things that we're all supposed to do anyway, limit the processed foods, don't eat as much sugar, get good sleep, move 30 minutes a day, all of that. But now doing that when I wake up not feeling like I've gotten sleep at all, even though I have, is hard. And I am tending to fall back into my crafting, my knitting and my spinning as coping mechanisms for feeling so tired, and then also feeling very like I'm lazy and like I'm not doing my job as a stay-at-home mom, because trying to get up and play or clean the bathroom feels hard, like really 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 fucking hard, in a way that I feel like I can't adequately express, so that's just kind of one of the new things, like something new. I turned 40 in last June, and shit's just gone downhill, and I was in quite literally the very best shape of my life 2 years ago. Well, no, 2.5 years ago, whatever, 2020, before the pandemic, I was in the very, very best shape of my life, and things have just changed. And so, now we're just figuring it out. So I guess I just wanted to share that, so that if you're dealing with anything, chronic illness or a new diagnosis, or just not knowing what's going on with you, that, it's happened. It happens to people. It does. And sometimes there are answers, sometimes there aren't. And we just have to work through it and do what we can for ourselves. So yeah. On that dark ass note, right? Like, that's depressing. I hope I'm gonna end this here, because now I'm tired, like really really tired again. And I hope that you all are feeling well, doing well, taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.